Ew, I forgot how ugly this one was. I keep talking about how like the upgrades don't matter, but like this one was ugly. Oh. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacy and I am currently in the process, actually that's a lie, I've finished. But I was in the process of apartment hunting in Los Angeles, and I thought it'd be fun if I documented the hunting process and take you guys along with me. So if you didn't know or you live under a rock, living in Los Angeles is less than cheap. And if you want to live alone like I do, you're gonna have to pay a pretty penny for it. But I thought it would be informational if you are interested in moving to LA or to just kind of join me along and seeing how much you can get for what kind of space if you wanted to live alone in LA. So yes, I did find an apartment at the end of this, which obviously will be, I'll show you at the end. But I wanted to take you through, I think about like 7 or 8 apartments, just kind of briefly showing you the different types of places you can get and in what areas. But I wanted to give you a little bit more background information on what I'm looking for and what were kind of my non-negotiables. My budget was $1,500 per month, and that needs to be pretty much all inclusive. So that needs to include parking, utilities, internet, as well as rent. So really, it's kind of more of like $1,300, but there are places that do have a higher rent, but all utilities and all parking is included. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Some of my other non-negotiables is that I do have my car with me, so parking is an absolute must. If it's not provided or if it's an additional cost, I would need to know how much that is and if the parking is close. So some places they don't actually have on-site parking. It's like a building 3 blocks down. That would kind of be a deal breaker. Some utilities included. If not, it has to be offset in the rent. So you'll kind of see that later on, that if it's a high rent, I would need it to be all utilities included, or a lower rent and I would pay for the utilities myself, if that makes sense. In terms of the space, I kind of just wanted to explore and see what I could get for my money. Currently, I am subletting a room in Los Angeles from a college alum site that I found, and I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I have absolutely fallen in love with it. I have a living room, a dining room, and a bedroom. I'm in the ideal area, so I'm in between Koreatown and Hancock Park. So if I just go 2 blocks that way, I get to walk around and take my runs in the rich neighborhood where the mayor lives. If I go this way, it's all the cool restaurants and bars and grocery shopping. So I'm really in an ideal location. So I kind of wanted to stay in this area and really explore more of Koreatown, as well as Hollywood was another area I was looking into. And that's because those are 2 areas that I could afford within this $1,500 budget. But yeah, those were really like my only deal breakers. I didn't care if it was like an outdated apartment. It wasn't a big deal if it had to be the most updated kitchen or hardwood floors. I cared more about like the space and how much area I could get for my money. So let me show you some of the apartments. Hey guys, future editing Jacy here, and I don't know what happened when I was recording this video, but for some reason I make some of the strangest like speaking errors and filming mistakes. So instead of editing those out, I figured let's just make fun of them and make that this week's clink counter. So let's add a brain fart counter right here. Ding. All right, back to the video. So the first apartment I saw was in Koreatown, and it was a studio apartment. It had nice hardwood floors and just kind of a room. The kitchen was very basic, you know, it had all of your appliances. It actually had a dishwasher, which was pretty uncommon, and a little bit of a nook that could fit a dining room table. Some nice updated appliances in terms of the faucet. The appliances were fine, like everything was just fine. And then you walk out from the kitchen and then back into the living room, and it was just a room. You know, this was my first place that I had seen, so I didn't realize like, oh, all I can afford is just basically a bedroom with a kitchen and bathroom attached. So it was kind of jarring in that sense, but we made it work. One thing I liked about this apartment was it had a lot of storage space and built-in storage space, which is nice, so I don't have to worry about buying shelves and dressers. The bathroom was also very nice and clean, white, new vanity, frosted glass shower, so I liked it. It also had a pool, which was a cool amenity. Not very many places had that, so I thought that was pretty cool. So this first apartment went for $1,375 a month. It had some utilities included and parking was an additional fee. So really your rent would be right around the $1,500 range, which was fine. I think I just didn't love the apartment, and because I'm very big on like, I need to shop around first before making a decision. So I wasn't set on this by any means. I wanted to shop around a little bit more, but it wasn't very good in opening my eyes in the sense that, okay, maybe all I can afford is just a room where it's only gonna fit my bed and my desk and a dresser, and I'm just gonna have to be okay with, you know, not hosting as much as I'm used to or not having guests over, because it is just my living space, it is where I sleep, so I need to keep that in mind. So this was a very good first apartment to realize that I need to lower my expectations in terms of how much space I could get for my money. The second apartment that I saw, it looked so much bigger online than it did on purpose, it was kind of sad. But it did have these beautiful exposed brick walls, which is one of the reasons that I like fell in love with it online. However, when we went and saw it in person, it was a little bit of a construction zone because they were redoing the floors, but you know, that means they're upgrading it. The kitchen was just absolutely basic, nothing exciting to it. There was a big gap where a dishwasher should go, so that was kind of interesting. Storage wasn't that great. The closet was very small and there was only one. And then the bathroom, it was a good bathroom, you know, it has your vanity, your medicine cabinet, a nice upgraded shower. So that one was also fine. So with this one, I called the Brick Studio. This was $1,395. All utilities were included, which is great, but there was no parking on site. So you would have to get parking from a private parking lot. And I think they said the nearest one was a few blocks away. That was kind of a deal breaker because, again, I don't want to have to, like, if I'm going grocery shopping, like when it's a little bit darker, I don't want to have to carry a bunch of groceries all that way. Or I do worry about like my safety in the sense that I have to park further than when I'm trying to get home. The other deal breaker with this one was, it was just tiny. It was teeny tiny. It said it was around 400 square feet. It was just, I think the reason why it felt so small was just the layout was odd. It's like I couldn't visualize where I was gonna place my bed and where all of my furniture would go. So this one was kind of like a, nah, I'm not even interested. But online, I did see that there was an open house just one block over. So I went and checked that out, and that was a big mistake. I fell in love with this apartment. So this apartment, similar to the previous one, it had this beautiful exposed brick. It had a gorgeous upgraded open concept kitchen, which was absolutely beautiful. Brand new floors. And the best part was it was a one bedroom. So you're actually looking at the living room right now. So then walking to the bathroom, which was right off the living room, beautiful updated shower with these built-in cubbies, which is great. And then a small bedroom off to the side. So it has that nice separation of living space and sleeping space. Again, a little bit of this exposed brick. And this was just a huge living room. Like, I really love the idea of being able to have guests over, and this did feel like a place where I could have people over and feel comfortable in my space. The only downside was that this place was $1,495 base price. So it did not include parking, and again, similar to the previous place, it did not include parking on site, so I would have to go through a private parking lot and park like 3 or 4 blocks away. There were also 0 utilities included, so that's an extra couple bucks I would need to factor in the sense of my rent. So I would, even though the rent was around $1,500, it's really more of like $1,800 or $1,900 when you have to factor all those things in. So it was way above my price range, but that's the dangers of these open houses, because you go and you window shop and you fall in love, and then nothing else can beat it, you know? But that one, oh, that apartment was chef's kiss, chef's kiss. So then with my head held low after seeing this beautiful apartment, I went and checked out this other one. Again, in kind of the Koreatown area, and this one was beautiful. So this one actually had a beautiful view of the Hollywood sign right out of the window, which I thought was kind of cool, you know, kind of a little fun fact, I guess. It had a lot of closet space, so a walk-in closet with built-in mirrors, which is great, so I don't have to buy a big old mirror. It had a beautiful open concept kitchen with this huge kitchen island that opened up to the living room. So it had these nice new wood floors. I could really visualize a layout that could fit a bed and my desk and even a kitchen table or bar stools right up to this kitchen island. It was nice and bright and white, and I think I could really, this was the first one where I started to visualize like, okay, I could cook here, meal prep here, host here. So I really liked this one. The problem with this one was that it was listed for $1,395 with parking included and some utilities included. And at this point I was kind of like, all right, I got to apply. Like, that's right up my alley. It's within my budget. It's everything I want and more. The problem was that the listing that I was looking at that said it was $1,395, when I was messaging the property manager, they were saying, oh, that one in the listing actually got sold. The one that you came and saw is a little bit different. That one's actually $1,500. And the utilities weren't included and parking wasn't included. And I was like, you tricked me. I got baited and switched and swindled, but it almost worked because I was really considering like, well, it might be worth it. But then I kind of was like, well, this is still, again, like only like the third or fourth apartment I've seen. I still want to shop around a little bit more. I also thought it was a bad sign that they kind of bamboozled me. It really kind of was a testament to their management style to me. And I was like, is this a place that I want to live in, kind of thing, where they're not as open and honest? I don't know. It kind of just gave me a bad feeling in my mouth. And I think I was very defeated after that one. But after that, I did go to another open house. This one was in Hollywood. And I learned that Hollywood, you really are paying for the location. So while things are affordable, you aren't getting as much space. So this apartment had nice wood floors, but again, it was just a room. And I think this video footage is actually doing it a lot of justice, but it could really only fit a bed and a dresser. This one, like, I will be working from home, and it really bothered me in the sense that like I might not be able to fit in a desk and a bed and a dresser with my TV, that I'd have to maneuver around all of my furniture, and there was no separation of Spanx, and there was no separation of space. So that would give me a lot of anxiety working from home. Like I would need kind of just a little bit more open area just to feel a little bit more comfortable. This one also had an interesting kitchen because it had like a table over here on the side and then some cabinets, but no cabinets on the other side. And then when you walk through the hallway, so while it's very nice flooring, it just felt very small and kind of like cramped. It did have, you know, a very nice bathroom. All these bathrooms are pretty standard, nice tile. So all the bathrooms are totally fine. I have no complaints about any bathrooms I've seen. This one also did have some built-in storage, which is good because again, I don't have to worry about buying an extra dresser or shelves. And then it did have this small little closet, just a teeny tiny closet with the built-in mirrors. So yeah, so this one I think it was just more of like the separation of space that I was worried about. And this one I think was less than 400,000 square feet. It was listed for $1,395, which is kind of like a standard price, I'm learning. And parking was included and some utilities included. And so while that was actually like below my budget in the sense that all of my rent would come out to around like the $1,400 range, I just couldn't picture myself living there. I think that tour was like a 5-minute tour. I was like, okay, thanks. Like that's all I needed to see. I cannot picture myself living here. It was just too claustrophobic. So this last apartment that I saw was fine. It had a great kitchen, like great bones, lots of cabinet and storage space. Everything was very clean. The appliances weren't updated, but they were totally fine. And the kitchen opened up to the living/sleeping space with brand new hardwood floors. It also had this little cubby that could fit a small little dining room table, which was nice. The hallway had this nice big open closet, which was really great on one side. And then on the other side had more storage space and a little beauty desk, which I've been looking to do kind of like a beauty desk and a working desk just to do my hair and makeup. And then you walk through and the bathroom, again, totally fine. There was like a medicine cabinet, toilet, sink, totally normal. And then when you walk out, I kind of started to this was the first time I started to visualize, okay, I could put my bed here, my dresser here, my desk here, a chair here. And I think it was the first one where I was like, okay, I can finally see myself living here. So this one was 480 square feet. So I think that's also why I could picture myself living there. Was it just felt a lot bigger than a lot of the other places that I saw. It was listed for $1,395. Parking was included and some utilities were included. So this one I was like, okay, you know what? I think this one's it. It's within my price range. I could visualize myself living there and everything about it just seemed fine. But then something happened, you guys. This is like I gotta relax. So this is a little story time. Right before I went and saw this apartment, I was literally locking up my door to my sublet and walking out to my car. I saw the landlord of the current complex that I'm in, and he was like, hey, like I haven't seen you all summer. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm holed up in here just filming videos, you know. And I told him I was apartment hunting right now, and he was like, what's your budget? And I was like, $1,500. And he goes, Come here. Let's go talk. Let's go talk. He told me he had an apartment opening up soon within my complex that was kind of within my price range, a little bit above, but it was a 1-bedroom, and it's pretty much almost exactly the exact same layout of the sublet I'm in. And I told him, I was like, I am very interested in it, because all throughout my apartment hunting process, I kept saying how, oh, like I like this place, but I just wish that it was in my exact neighborhood where I know that I can walk this way for the run, like, you know, that whole thing I was saying. And I was also saying like, oh, I was getting so used to the amount of space and having a bedroom for sleepy time and then a living room and a workstation, you know, for my videos or for my regular job. And so I was like, you know what? I am actually very interested. I've fallen in love with this area. Like, let me know. So he gave me a call back and he said, I can show you the apartment, but there are tenants in there right now and they are in the process of moving out. So it might not show that well, but if you wanted to come take a look at it, just to give an idea. So I don't want to dwell too much on the footage here because it is somebody's stuff and they are moving out. It wasn't meant to be shown, but it is the same living room that I'm in now. The windows are a little bit different and there's a closet on the opposite side. So the entrance door is in a different place than the current unit I'm in. The storage was all the same. So there is a hall closet that has a lot of space as well as some built-in storage in there, which is wonderful. The bedroom's the exact same, which I love. So got so excited. So if you look behind me, I have like basically this giant wall-to-wall closet that's like 3 panels wide. It had that same giant closet, which I was so stoked about, as well as this beautiful window that I'm sitting in front of that brings me so much natural light. The bathroom was a lot more outdated than my current unit. So it had like some pink accents and pink tiles and just like, it was pink, which is fine. I don't really care about that. And then it was carpeted throughout, whereas the unit I'm in now has more of hardwood floors. But again, that doesn't bother me. The dining room opens up to these beautiful large windows, which my current unit does not have. And it overlooks the street and it brings in so much natural light, which I love. The kitchen was a different setup than the one I'm in now. It was kind of a really funky setup. Like there were a lot of gaps and areas. There was also like this weird pink marble countertops, but it was all stuff where it's like, I get so much space here that all of these like outdated items and all of these like awkward layouts I could work with. So I talked to my landlord and I got it. Yay. He asked me not to describe, he did ask me to not project the actual amount of rent that I'm paying, but I can tell you that it's a little bit of a budget stretch, but basically for the fact that I'm getting a whole separate room for the price was absolutely worth it. I think that I have totally fallen in love with the area. I feel so comfortable here and I'm starting to get to know my neighbors a little bit that I think I'll fit in really well and I'll be so happy here. It's also kind of an inspiring space in the fact that it's a little outdated because I've been addicted to Lone Fox here on YouTube, just watching all of his DIY and renter-friendly room makeovers. And it's really inspiring in the sense that like, ooh, I have a lot of content I could work with in the sense of like, come decorate with me or come do a renter-friendly kitchen makeover, those sort of things. So I am super excited to get moved in. So that'll happen in early August. And I plan on doing a ton of content revolving around that. You know, an empty apartment tour, you know, a moving vlog, just decorating each room and all of the spaces. So I am so excited. So that was me kind of giving a quick overview of some of the apartments in LA in the $1,500 range, if it was helpful. I hope it was, because it's fun apartment hunting because you kind of start to like visualize how you would decorate things, how you would place furniture, and how you would envision yourself actually living there. So I had fun during this process, but I am so glad that all of the stars aligned and I'm able to essentially stay where I already am. Like, guys, my move is going to be so easy. I can just walk a suitcase 2 doors down and I'm like, all moved in. It's going to be nice. But I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe below so you can follow along with my continued apartment journey as I move in and kind of make the space my own. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and I will see you next time. Toodles! Now the fun part of like buying furniture. It's gonna be expensive. Ugh. Do you think I could get Lone Fox to come out and help me redo my apartment? Drew, if you're watching, come help me make over my kitchen.